Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what should be a great matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Cincinnati Bengals. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and...
Bullock out now to kick this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. Then he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. So now here comes the Eagles offense as they get ready to take over. They'll be led out by their 6'5 quarterback out of North Dakota State. It's Carson Wentz.
He didn't have as many throws or plays in college as many of the quarterbacks that were coming out in the draft, but he maxed.
And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. Getting the sack, the big D tackle, Geno Atkins. That's called setting the tone right away.
It certainly is, and it lets you know just how important communication is amongst the offensive line. They talk about it all the time, knowing each other's moves. You've got to be coordinated and in sync. Otherwise, your quarterback gets hit.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. So certainly not the start they were looking for here as they come up on a 3rd and 14. From the gun, it's Wentz. Gonna look deep for Jeffrey. Looks to throw, fires right side. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
So dangerous with a football in his hands. Call that a return of 38. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. A very good starting field position for the Bengals here as they come up 1st and 10. The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. He's got a first down and then some inside the 40. And down to the 28-yard line. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first.
Coming in, he really liked his chance of having a big year based on a terrific offseason. And runs like that on opening weekend show that he's right.
That's what I do. Shoot. Kill.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Complete to the right side. It's Eifert. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. Give him 17 at a Cincinnati 1st down. Our game not even 2 minutes old, but a quick red zone opportunity. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 11. Dalton with a give here to Mixon. And they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down. Now on 2nd and 13. Dalton, rush coming, and he's taken down. Zach Brown making his presence felt in the backfield.
Well, enough takes to start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Throwing, Dalton. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. 14 yards, but they're still well shy of a first as that leads to 4th down.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes and they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. This is Hines. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. And you often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws, some misdirection. You want to run any type of a play that will influence these guys to continue to get upfield and find a way to use that against them and slip things in behind them. So some quick passes could work as well.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Oh, he'll field it in the end zone. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Bengals will get it at the 20. The Bengals offense now, they head back onto the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about
that.
Super toe.
And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27. Operating from the 27 now. Here's 2nd and 3. They toss to Mixon. Gets past one man. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far is working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
There's a ball thrown right side and complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It's a Bengal 1st down, a pickup of 11. Now Dalton with a 1st and 10. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
Well, he kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he let him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
3rd down, a shot here for Dalton. He's got the 1st down and more inside the 40. And he has another 1st down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 38-yard line.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
We used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this, when he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
23 yards on the pickup there and a 1st. Well, they're making a real first-quarter statement with a run game, no doubt.
For those who remember old-school football, running it, establishing things, seeing backs find holes, get through them, they've got to like what they're seeing from this unit so far. Right now, they've decided to, as you said, establish the run game, and they've been successful doing it.
And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Ready for the 2nd quarter from Cincinnati. It's the Bengals with the football here as they've got it with a 2nd and 10. Mixon will try the right side. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a third down. On third down, Mixon. And they're able to corral him right around the 8, and that's short of the first down. He's able to chew up 8 yards on the carry there, but still, fourth down upcoming.
Watch the run. Watch the run. Watch the run. Check. Check.
Fourth down, Dalton wants to throw. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
They go over the middle, and it's complete to start the drive. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards. Jeffrey with a catch left side. A gain of 6 there on first. From the 38, Wentz. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Nelson Aguilar, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd and 4. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Now Wentz again. And he connects with Ertz. An Eagle first down there, Wentz to Ertz, and the names that end in TZ.
At first glance, I thought he just used his size in order to win the route, but he also had a little subtle move in there as well. Made the defender think he was going one direction and was able to track the ball in another.
Here's a run on first down that doesn't accomplish anything. In fact, he's going to be tackled behind the line for a loss of 1. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11. On 2nd and 11 now. Wentz. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Hines. It'll be a gain of 4, and they're going to face a 3rd down. Now Wentz on 3rd down. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And they'll get this across the midfield stripe, but still winding up short of the first down. Call it a gain of 5, and that'll bring up 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job here of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. Joe Mixon and the rest of his offense making their way back onto the field. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
That's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? On 2nd and 2, Dalton going deep downfield for Ross. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Here's Dalton. Got an open man. That's C.J. Uzomah. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. 14 yards through the air. Caught the D off guard on 3rd and 1.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not even going to catch the football. He's going to run away from me a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. A minute 55 left to go in the first half of play. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here. And he is in. Touchdown, Bengals. Joe Mixon taking it in. Now the Bengals, they widen their lead. A 1-yard run on first down, another yard that gets him into the end zone on second down. Maybe not much for the yards per carry average, but hey, 6 points.
Yeah, bottom line is it doesn't matter there. You've got to find a way to wedge it into the end zone. Yards per carry, that's out the window. How do you score? And on the second down, they had something going. They got a yard before. They thought they could do it again, and they got it done.
Philadelphia getting set to take the field. The results for them so far not that great. Well, not good at all. 3 drives, 3 punts.
Yeah, and now what you're doing is you're looking at your play sheet, trying to figure out what you're going against defensively. I wonder, are they showing them something they haven't seen or anticipated in practice, and maybe that's throwing them off? Or do they just have to go to a different play calling section and try and run some offense that way?
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 36. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Malcolm Jenkins up to make the stop. On second down, here's Mixon. He's able to rattle off 6 on the carry, and that'll get him to 3rd and 4. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Now the Bengals on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Now Joe Mixon. And he will have the first down as he gets this to the 47. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number 1. On 1st and 10, here's Andy Dalton. He's going to let this go for the end zone. That's going to be caught by Ross for a Bengal touchdown. John Ross, 47 yards. And the Bengals, they widen their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Bullock good on the extra point, and that makes our score 17-0. Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Carson Wentz and the Eagles make their way out to the field. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown 1 interception. He wants to balance that off with at least 1 touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Ertz has it left side. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be third down. The Eagles on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. Wentz going to throw. Throw left side complete. It's Hines. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. Wentz now, after the pick on the last drive, 3 for 3 to start this drive. It's 1st and 10. To throw is Wentz. Bringing it in, Jackson left side. Now the Eagles will use the second of their timeouts as it comes with 22 seconds to go here in half number 1. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Again, they'll throw with Wentz. And that will be incomplete with a clock showing 18 seconds now to go. He was looking for his running back, Nyheim Hines, and it's 3rd down. So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Now Wentz. He finds Aguilar over the middle. And they stop him up short of the 1st down as they get him at about the 43. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down. And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. And likely time for one final play here in the half, so they will go for it on 4th down. A final shot before half for Wentz. And this is Hurts with it, right side. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. Well, they deemed it 4-down territory, and they got 4 yards to pick up the first. Now Wentz. A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. Picked off at about the 31. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. And welcome back to football, everybody. We've got a full slate of 16 games here to start the new season. So let's take our first trip around the NFL. We'll begin our tour up at First Energy Stadium in Cleveland. And that one just before halftime with the Jaguars out on top. Nick Foles, throwing the football well. He has 3 touchdown passes. From there, it's over to our nation's capital to check on the Redskins at home at FedEx Field. And right now, they have the lead over the visiting New York Giants. Dwayne Haskins, throwing the football well. He has 3 touchdown passes. Lastly, let's get to Pittsburgh. Check on the Steelers at home at Heinz Field. And at the half, they have the lead over the visiting Titans. The Steelers still in a dogfight, but this would be a good victory for them if they could get it. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. We'll see if week one fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. This one taken from the 7. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. The Bengal offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They are clicking on all cylinders. They seem to be just scoring at will right now, and that's why they've opened up this big lead.
You know, we always talk about getting into the zone, and all athletes are seeking that, aren't they? Where everything is working for them, every move they make works, it clicks, and they are on point right now.
Yeah, they are in that zone that you're talking about. Mixon will get it to start the second half. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
From the 40 now on second down. Dalton, that's caught at the 25.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big gain. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down. And that catch number 100 for his young career. And remember, only in his second season. The future, bright.
It's just me and you.
2 by 2. Move. Regular.
On first down, Bernard. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. 11 more on that one and another first down.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. Andy Dalton to the goal line, but it's incomplete. Down this close to the goal line, first down. Surprised that wasn't a run?
I am, and I'm old school. I want to run the ball on first down in this situation because second down, that gives me an option of running play action, maybe throwing it.
Here's a run with Mixon, and he takes it into the end zone. Touchdown, Bengals. Joe Mixon, already his second touchdown here in this opening weekend. Well, the Bengals, they widen their lead. Extra point up and good by Bullock, and the lead is now 24. That time a 6-play drive, and it all culminated in the touchdown run coming from Joe Mixon. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper. And they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger. But no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing. And try and get back to where you were to start the half.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Wentz, and not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Working from the gun, Wentz. Going for the deep ball. He's got it at the 15.
Good work, boys. Let's go. Let's go.
The last drive he threw the pick, but he's not shy. He's going downfield again there.
And you can't be, because if you back off after throwing an interception, your whole game plan just goes right out the window, and it makes things easier for a defense.
And he'll go down, brought down at the 20-yard line. A good response by the defense, sending them backwards after that huge gain last play.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and end up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. Oh, moving from his tight end spot there.
Do you think that perhaps the play call was for him?
Wentz to throw on 2nd down. And his throw is incomplete.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on third down.
And his kick is indeed good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
Now, things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to their goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
And now nothing but green ahead of him. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. The kick return touchdown goes for 97 yards. Now the Bengals, they widen their lead. Such an electric play, so much fun to watch, and you need all 11 guys in sync for that to be successful, don't you?
Without a doubt. That's teamwork, to be able to put it all together. But that play is really probably the most exciting 10 seconds in football.
So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield as it turned out. Couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It's way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
Philadelphia picking up the first on a gain of 15. Wentz now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. It's a jet sweep as they get this to Jackson. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves them with a 2nd and 3.
Something to watch here in week 1 of the season, tackling. Because you and I both know that in the preseason, a lot of these guys don't play a whole lot. Plus the intensity and the speed really ratchets up on opening week.
And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 19 yards the pick up there. Move the chains.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Play action. Now Wentz. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Sacked back at the 31. Jordan Evans in there to get him. It's a loss of 5. Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7. Shotgun now for Wentz. And he finds his tight end. It's Ertz. The completion there winds up a wash, and it'll bring up 4th down.
And that's when it's fun to play defense. When you're able to diagnose a play right from the beginning, get all your guys to the football, and spill the play, that's when you have a lot of fun playing on that side of the ball.
And this one's not close. Not even close. Short and to the right, it's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. So a bit of a weird kick there. That wasn't an overly long attempt, but that never had a chance.
You almost wonder if he might have maybe got that one on the laces because it kind of knuckled on him a bit. And this one winds up in empty possession.
Mixon gets the nod to start the drive. He's got the first down and more past midfield. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Joe Mixon with now 3 Week 1 touchdowns as his guys continue to pour it on. Go ahead and give him the hat trick. He's been in the end zone now 3 times.
You toss your fedora first, okay? You go ahead and do that. But let's be honest about it. That third one, that's the most spectacular run he's had in the ballgame. It's almost as if he's been playing. His own game of, can I top this? And each run has been more spectacular than the last.
Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. But let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
Back now in Cincinnati. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. On second and a couple. Wentz looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Jackson. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march off another 15 against your squad.
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. Looking to throw on second down. Wentz. The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes. Von Miller. It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop him.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Draw play. This is Hines. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Well, that looked for a second like he might take it all the way, but as it stands, it's still a massive return. And the Bengals will take over in terrific field position.
Let's go, D. Big series right here.
A first down throw coming for Dalton. Green's got it over the middle. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he get a good head of steam going.
Looking to throw again on second down. Dalton. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 22 yards there, a first down. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah.
And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. From 17 yards out, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. And that rushing touchdown is 4th, puts him just 1 shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
This will be taken in at the 1. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Eagles coming out as they get ready. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a...
And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off at the 22. And he will score. Touchdown, Cincinnati. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
Bullock good on the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This is taken at the 3. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. And they just had that pick 6. I guess the only positive maybe of them returning that for a touchdown. This offense right back out onto the field to try to make up for it.
I like that because now it doesn't give them a chance to go to the bench and really settle. You know, to sit there and kind of seethe over the idea that they turned the ball over previously. Right back out there. It's almost like hopping right back on the bike after falling over. See if they can get the ball moving again.
Yeah, we'll see if they can do it here. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. And now a throw here secured by his running back out of the backfield. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. That one, a first down pickup of 8. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. On the delay, here's Hines. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
This short throw caught by Goddard.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row. There were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. A gain of 13. It's a 1st down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak. Late in ball.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Nigel Bradham flying in and laying the lumber defensively.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole...
And the pressure gets to him again. Give the sack to Fletcher Cox.
And it has been a good game for them. They haven't been pressured very much today. But on back-to-back sacks, maybe the defense is starting to figure something out.
So the sack, and now it's 3rd and long for Dalton and the Bengals.
Single snap.
So Dalton now. They'll set up the screen here to mix him. 5 yards on the screen, but that'll take us to 4th down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Shedding through the defense. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
So this one in the win column now for the Cincinnati Bengals. And, partner, I must say, good to see you again. Been too long. And it's good to have football back, isn't it?
Didn't you see me in preseason? Weren't we together in preseason?
Yeah, but preseason, it's preseason. This is week 1.
Oh, you're trying to say real football.
Yeah, real football.
Not preseason football where we shake down the rosters and figure out who's going to play, and maybe the starters don't play as much. Now it's the frontline guys from the first whistle.
Yeah, I tuned you out in the preseason, but now I'm listening to you. So for the Bengals, it's a fantastic start as they roll to a blowout victory here in the season opener. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, they go down to defeat here in the opener. And they'll try to get back on track next week as they head to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. Start your week by installing your game plan.
I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. We are just moments away from kickoff, and we've got a good one on tap between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Coach, thanks. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Inner Harbor and M&T Bank Stadium here in Baltimore, Maryland. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens. The first game's out of the way. Time to buckle down for the long season ahead, and we're off in week 2. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. And the former Heisman winner, this is Mark Ingram. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call. That hold coming from the middle of the line, the center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you've got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting it done.
And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 11, he goes down. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's second down. They'll run for the first time with Mark Ingram. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. A second down play results in a loss of 2 yards.
And how about that, partner? That happened in a hurry. Sudden, explosive, gets into the backfield, and spills the play.
And he was AFC Defensive Player of the Week last week because of plays just like that. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on third down. Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
Third and long for Bridgewater. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's fourth down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. 72 yards on the punt return as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him.
Let's see what you got.
A first down throw for Bridgewater. That's caught by the former Sooner, Mark Andrews. 23 yards on the play.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? It sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. And across midfield he goes and into Bengal territory.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
From just shy of midfield, Bridgewater. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 25. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. He's continuing to be a big presence defensively. Remember last week, AFC Defensive Player of the Week, and a big pick right there.
And when you pile up big numbers, it gets everyone's attention. But sometimes the number just needs to be, how many game-changing plays did you make? Did you take the ball away from the other team? He just did that, trying to win the award again this week.
Accelerating, and off he goes. Past the 20. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Joe Mixon, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Bengals strike quickly here for 6 points. Extra point up and good by Bullock. And it's now 14-0. One of the shortest drives you'll ever see. One play, 75 yards, 6 points. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Getting set to go again here, Teddy Bridgewater coming back onto the field. And he'll look to rebound from the early interception that led to 6 points the other way.
And when he threw the interception and he had to come to the sideline, I guarantee his first thought wasn't about the interception itself, but what could result. And I know he was thinking to himself, come on, defense, bail me out. Well, they weren't able to in this situation. Now he's got to go out and atone for it himself, but he can't force things.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And that'll wind up incomplete. Trying to give his man room to run under it, but it's second down. A look there at the defensive starters for Cincinnati. They were quite formidable in the win over the Eagles a week ago.
And the big thing for them was the interceptions. And you hear teams all the time talk about establishing themselves against the pass. You know, no-fly zones and things of that nature. Last week's game.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Check.
From the gun, it's a run for Ingram. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
There is no doubt that Geno Atkins is really strong and stout at the point of attack. But I love his suddenness, the ability to make plays, to be in one spot, and then he's gone and into the offensive backfield. He's a heck of a player.
And there, a big TFL, tackle for loss.
Hard to believe that his father, Gene Atkins, was an NFL defensive back. He's bred this big defensive tackle.
Got it. Mike 50. Mike 50. Hop on.
On 3rd down, Bridgewater. And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. Geno Atkins got home that time.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
And a few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. On is the punter, Cook, who sends it away. Ross on the return. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. Nearly a huge return as it is. Still a very good one. 24 yards. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Mixon with a 1st down carry. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
He'll get this to the 40. Sweet little juke in there. Got him some extra yardage. We should mention, to go along with a great game he had last week, he was rightfully named AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
And he shares that with his offensive line, the tight end, his fullback. He's looking for more and more of that in this game.
And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. Dalton to Green for a Cincinnati first. A pretty sizable deficit here in the first quarter. This defense probably need to get off the field in those situations on 3rd down.
And you and I both know in this huddle before that last 3rd down play, that's exactly what they talked about. Let's make a play. Let's get off the field. Let's reverse the momentum. Instead, they got hit with another 1st down, almost back to the drawing board.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. It's a pickup of 12. 2nd play in a row with a 12-yard gain. Although his reputation as a speedy runner precedes him, it's always fun to watch him work.
It is eye-opening, isn't it? Because when you see him get the ball and just go, in addition to that speed, it helps out his blockers. They don't have to hold blocks for long because he's just going to speed right past them.
A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. The quick slant caught. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. A.J. Green, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Bengals, they widen their lead. Bullock good on the extra point, and it's now 21-0. A drive that time of 6 plays, and it ends with a Bengals score. Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Bridgewater throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. The intended receiver was Rashard Higgins, and it's 3rd and 4. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. To throw, Bridgewater. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Andrews. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 16 yards on that one, and a Raven first. This is Ingram on 1st and 10. Ingram's got the first down and more. The 20, 10, and all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Mark Ingram, his first touchdown of the new season as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. Extra point up and good by Bailey, and they'll cut the lead to 21-7. The drive summary, 4 plays, 75 yards. And it's Mark Ingram who caps it off with a touchdown run. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And out now, here come the Bengals. And they've got to be thankful for the 3rd phase in this one. They've had some nice punt returns on special teams.
And it feels like they're keeping it pretty simple, too. It's not a real complex scheme that they're using to return kicks. It's almost like they look to the sideline when they go out there and the coach just says, return wide side. Bring it over there, and off they go. Sometimes they'll go short side. But no matter what, it's working very well for them.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. The drive will commence with a run by Mixon. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a first down. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when.
There he goes, left side. A big play there for Cincinnati. Give him 55 yards on the ground. This defense porous so far in this first quarter. They face another 1st and goal. A pretty wild first quarter. 21-7, our score. Start of the second quarter, and it's the Bengals in control of the football as they go to work on a 1st and goal.
Hands up. 318. Big out. 368.
Mixon trying to punch it in, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Back at the 5-yard line now, 2nd and goal. It's Mixon on the counter, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
I enjoyed watching Robert Quinn in pregame warm-ups with you down on the field. Did it surprise you how tall and angular he is? You wouldn't think he'd be able to play against the run that well, would you?
But he can, and he showed it right there, didn't he?
That's that wrestling background he has. He understands leverage as well as anyone in the game. A big-time wrestler in high school. He didn't lose very often.
3-time heavyweight state champ in South Carolina. Well, they've got the comfortable lead. Decision time here. Do they go for it, press their luck?
Listen, if I'm the head coach, I take my headset off. I turn to my defense and say, guess what, guys? We're going for it right here, right now. I want the knockout shot, and if it doesn't happen, you've got my back, don't you? Go get it.
And if you don't get it, the other offense, they've got a long way to go in the other direction. Now, meanwhile, they go for it on 4th down, and my goodness, incomplete. Well, they were looking for a clutch play there on 4th, unable to come up with it.
How about that defense, though, huh? How about that D?
Momentum swing.
And, you know, I remember playing how much 4th downs were emphasized, you know, because, as you said, it's a momentum play. It's also a big test for you, you know. If people are going to go for it on 4th down, they believe you're not up to the challenge. You want to show them differently.
Now this one to his running back out of the backfield. And they'll bring him down right around the 13. 7 yards there and a 1st down. So a little more space to work with here from the 13 on 1st and 10. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Tajay Sharp, the intended receiver. And now it's 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that. The ball comes out, and the Bengals grab it. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. Well, he did what he's known for. He made the catch, then he turned into a runner, took the contact, and coughed it up.
And all I remember as a player, when they catch the ball, when those acrobatic guys catch it, you have to make them pay sometimes. You have to put it on them, big tackle, knock the ball free, anything you can do to slow them down.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. Throwing, Dalton. Looking middle, and it's incomplete.
There are a good number of coaches at any time they call an in route are really worried about the play because there's so much traffic ordinarily that the ball has to get through to get to the receiver. And on that play, it was batted down.
They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. And he's going to have a 1st down here as he gets this one to the 17-yard line. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
Tighten up. Hey. Under 10.
Back to Mixon on 1st down. And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
Partner, I know my grade school teachers never would believe this, but I can absorb a lesson. I think there's a lesson in this one. He's having a great day running the football, but occasionally they're going to find a way to stop you, aren't they?
Yeah, this time the defense stepped up in what's been so far a tough game for them. Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Coverage was very good that time. A nice job to smother him as the ball arrived, and that ensured an incomplete pass.
And it keeps 6 points off the board. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. They'll run here with Mixon. And they'll get him down short of the 1st down, right on the 10-yard line. 9 yards on the carry, but it's going to lead to a 4th down. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
So they put together a good little drive there, but ultimately stalling out in the red zone.
Yeah, I know a lot of people look at it as a little bit of a negative. They didn't get 6 points out of it, right? Didn't get the touchdown. But that's actually okay. They got 3 points, able to give their defense a little bit of rest, let them settle down over there. So all in all, to me, that's a good drive.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal and they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive, a little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown, but they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach would be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punching the end zone without turning it over. If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
A gain of 7, and they pick up the first. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in the second week of the regular season. Now a man open down the middle of the field. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A very solid gain of 27. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. And again, it's Bridgewater. Throw left side complete. That's Ingram. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Now Bridgewater. Brought in left side by Snead. It's a gain of 5, and that'll make it 2nd down. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Bridgewater again. This will be caught just inside the 10. And he'll get this down inside the 5 to the 4 before he's out of bounds. 7 yards there and a 1st down. This is 1st and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. They'll run here with Ingram. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
And they'll turn to a power game to try to get in. And he will force his way into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. It's the fullback. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Ravens get a bit closer. Haley got the extra point, and the lead down to 10, 24-14. So the lead back down to 10 as things get a little more interesting, and the kick is away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Joe Mixon and the rest of his offense making their way back onto the field. Might he be on his way to a record-setting performance here, Charles? 2nd quarter and the yardage number already ridiculous.
And they always talk about just focusing on the next play, but sometimes it's okay to dream big because
I'm focusing on the 4th quarter already.
Listen, I don't blame you, though, because we could be witnessing some type of history here, and it's being done by him and, of course, the big guys up front who are creating the holes for him to run through.
Yeah, they've all been good so far. Andy Dalton going deep downfield for Ross. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. John Ross, the one he was looking for. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
Mixon. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
Face mask. Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage.
Here we go, Cam. Regular.
Dalton gives to Bernard. Matt Judon there to bring him down. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
368.
Dalton here from the gun. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Curtis Samuel, the one he was looking for. And it's 3rd down. And the Bengals on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. And Dalton to throw. And able to find Green. Now the Bengals going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1.
2 by 2. Move.
Dalton operating in the red zone now. And that is caught. He's got it for a Bengal touchdown. Curtis Samuel as the first half is winding down. Now the Bengals, they widen their lead. And he's a little bit on the shorter side as a receiver. Maybe sometimes for the defense, tough to find the little guys, right?
Yeah, sometimes they get lost in the traffic, but usually what it means is that rather than just winning with height or even speed, they use their quickness to find a way to get open.
Well, tall, short, wide, skinny, whatever, there it results in a touchdown. Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. That's fielded in the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Clock at 20 seconds to go in the half as they come up 1st and 10. They'll indeed try to run it out as they start on the ground. And he'll work this back to right around the line of scrimmage and surrender there. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. So we have reached halftime here, and it's the visiting Bengals. All right, hang on. We'll jump over halftime. The Bengals set to receive. They have the lead and the football to begin quarter number 3. This is taken at his 4. Oh, look at the juke.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
The Bengal offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They had a big first half. Now they have a chance to add to that lead here in the opening possession of the second half.
And everyone always asks about halftime adjustments, kind of the key phrase. What did you do at halftime? Well, the way they ran offense in the first half, I think they were very calm, congratulatory, but also what they were saying is don't expect them to be the same on defense. They'll be the ones making the adjustments. Let's see what they do, and we'll attack accordingly.
And we'll see how they attack here.
Watch the twist. Watch the twist.
Once again, they run with Mixon. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. They go play action here on first down. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
And he'll take this forward for 2, maybe 3. But we do have a flag down, and they're already marching backward. So he was holding from that left tackle position.
Everyone tries to keep their hands inside when they're blocking ever since they liberalized the rules where you can extend them out. But sometimes they get out a little wide and they get detected grabbing some cloth.
Here's Dalton. Taking a shot for Samuel. He rifles one that's intercepted. picked off here by Jimmy Smith. And the return here is stopped at the 35-yard line. They needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the third quarter. Defensively, they did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break. Taking the ball away.
Hit from behind, and he's going to be driven down. Geno Atkins picks up his second sack of the afternoon.
Tremendous read and reaction by the defensive tackle. And frankly, partner, it's not that often the DTs have that type of easy access back to the quarterback. Never bought the play-action fake.
They run. It's Mark Ingram. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down. I was pretty surprised there when they lined up to run it on second and long, but it worked out for them.
It certainly did, and that requires some confidence, some fortitude, and a little bit of hope, doesn't it? You hope you catch the defense just right and break off a big run to help yourself out on the next down.
It's a 4-yard pickup, and that's going to make it fourth down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
Now here's Ross. A big-time return there, 40 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Bengals drive about to get going. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here.
Hey.
Check safety.
368.
They'll run on first down. Bernard. Tackle made there by Tony Jefferson.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
368. 93, 52, 93.
On second down, Mixon able to push forward for about 4 down to the 37.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a game considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Again, it's Mixon. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
Someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on third down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. On first down, Bernard. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. Was that 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive, and like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. They'll run on first down. Mixon, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. They'll stay on the ground. Mixon again. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain that time, and it leaves them with 3rd and 11 coming up. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Tim Williams drops him for a loss of 14 yards, and it also brings up 4th down. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean.
That's going to be caught by Ross for a Bengal touchdown. Andy Dalton with his third touchdown pass of the game. And the Bengals, they widen their lead. Wow, talk about a big fourth down conversion for the score. Defensively, how do you let that happen?
I think you start with the offense, and you give them credit for going for it and having that type of, well, let's face it, audacity. But defensively, I think you're right on target, partner. There's no way something like that's supposed to happen in that situation. You're supposed to be able to shut that down and get the ball back for your own team. Instead, they give up not just a big play, but a touchdown.
Ready. It's 50, man. It's 50. Let's pick it up. It's out of time, guys. Out of time. Let's get off the field. Let's get off the field.
They'll run with Ingram here to begin the drive. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. And he's going to lose yardage here, as they will switch ends as time is run out on this third quarter of play. Here's Sam Cook now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. That's taken on the 25. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
93, 52, 93, 44. 44. There you go.
They'll start here with a give to Mixon. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
And now the throw hauled in by Green. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. That one good for 15, and the Bengals get a first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
A run there on first down and a pretty good one at 5 yards, so make it 2nd and 5. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
From the 35 on 2nd down, Dalton, this is caught, and he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. John Ross, his 3rd touchdown of the game and 4th on the year, as his guys continue to pour it on. Extra point up and good by Bullock.
And now we've hit that stage of the game, partner, where one of our predecessors, one of the great commentators of all time, he used to sing in this situation when this game appeared to be over.
I know the fat lady's been singing for some time.
No, not her at all. This is one of our guys.
But she's singing too.
No, she's
on like the 5th tune.
Yeah, she left Scales way behind, but he used to sing something about turning out the lights. The party was over.
Watch that in. Tight end's right. Tight end's right.
Bridgewater now looking to throw on first. He's got his man. It's Andrews. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. A gain of 6 there on first. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. To throw is Bridgewater. They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
One of the selling points of the corner route is usually the receiver is able to move away from the defender. But in this case, he didn't get that far away.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. The throw here to Andrews, the tight end. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Bridgewater. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Meanwhile, on third down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. The outcome of this one, well, we know who's going to win it. It's just all window dressing at this point. Got me thinking, what's the biggest blowout that you've been a part of as a player, broadcaster?
No, I'm not going to go to the player part because when I think blowout...
Because you won every game as a player.
No. I think about being blown out. And no one wants to go back to those memories. But, you know, when I was calling college football, I saw a game that, you know, a team put 70. I actually saw it happen twice. A team put 70 on their opponent. And in the NFL in the 2017 season, I saw one of those changing of the guard games where a team that hadn't been very good before now was dominating and kicking around a team who had been ruling their division.
And that's when you earn your paycheck, right? As the analyst, you got to fill that time.
You've got to know what's going on out there and how it all happened.
Well, obviously, that begs the question, what game was it?
That was Seattle hosting Los Angeles, the Rams.
Yeah.
Their second meeting of the season, and the Rams turned it around from the first one and blew out the Seahawks.
Heavy. Come on, boy.
Now a play fake here on first down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. A big play. Dalton to his favorite receiver, Green. 48 yards. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles, that certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long, and I would say that going along with that has been confidence. Because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them. And now it's been a real issue for him during this game.
On first down, Bernard. And a pickup of about 4 down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
To throw on 2nd and 6, Dalton. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a third down now as they look for one more first down to help salt this one away. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Looking like they're well on their way to a 2-0 start. All smiles right now on that sideline, isn't it?
As well there should be. It's hard to win a game in the NFL. We hear it all the time. We know that it's difficult. But guess who's smiling? But inside is thinking 24-hour rule because we're going to have to play again next week.
Boss man.
Oh, without a doubt. The head coach, he wants them to feel good, but at the same time, find a way to keep improving.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Ravens. Offense now ready for another possession. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
And now offensively it's 3rd and 10. And I'm just thinking to myself, actors always say, what's my motivation before a big scene? Right now the play caller's thinking, what have I done before that's worked well that I can go to right now?
Yeah, because they were pretty successful in the first half scoring points. Haven't done anything so far here in the second half. Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Bengals getting set to go. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. A big play there for Cincinnati. 53 yards.
Well, we're beyond the tone setting right now. This guy's been the bell cow all day, and they'll continue to rely on him to move the chains, drain the clock, and lead his team.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. That is caught at the 7. It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives them a first and goal.
Let's go. Let's do it. Heavy.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. It'll be a gain of 5 there as they move closer. It's 2nd and goal.
When you look at the geography we're staring at, this part of the field, don't you always think of big backs carrying the football, bruisers trying to pound it in, instead?
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. I tell you, Charles, you play to the final whistle, I get that, but there are a few folks that might not be too happy with that score late in the game with it already well in hand.
You seem a little squeamish about that last score.
I struggle with it. I struggle. But on the other, the argument, I get it, on the other side is, hey, do something about it. Stop them.
I guarantee you, I know who was really excited. Fantasy owners
who
had them. Hey, listen, get the points from me. They're not worried about hurt feelings or anything like that. That's just new age stuff.
Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left, because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it, because there are a lot of people watching the body language of the guys on the field now, and if they call plays they want executed, they need to do that and do it really well. Otherwise, there could be repercussions.
We'll see how they handle the waning moments of this one. They'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31.
In your face.
Throwing is Bridgewater. A short throw caught by Andrews. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. The Bengals going to use the 2nd of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. 3rd and short yardage. Bridgewater. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off by Sean Williams. And they will set up shop at their own 46-yard line. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10. They'll run on 1st down. Mixon. He's got the first down and more inside the 40. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first. Oh, now look at this. They're lining up to add 3 more, a little insult to injury here late in the game. He made his first, this from 47 yards out. But, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Cincinnati, it was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Ravens, they'll drop to 0-2. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head to MetLife Stadium to take on the New York Giants. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody. Start your week by installing your game plan.
Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Monday Night Football on EA Sports. We're just about set to get started, and this ought to be a good one between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals. I'll be back at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from Sunday's action. But for now, it's Monday Night Football. And to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Named for the legendary coach and co-founder of the Bengals, here's a good look at Paul Brown Stadium on the riverfront in Cincinnati. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line.
Black 20. Black, what's that? 52. Man, I got you.
First carry for James Conner, and not the start he was hoping for there as he'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Jesse Bates made the tackle from his safety spot. Offensive starters, here they are. David DeCastro, what do you think about him, Charles?
Brandon could not have been better trained at Stanford. So well schooled in the run game and the pass game, and especially in pro principles. David DeCastro could be an all-pro in the years to come.
It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves him with 5 more. 3rd and 5 now. From the gun on 3rd down, it's Roethlisberger. And he finds McDonald. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield. A big 3rd down pickup of 20 yards. From midfield now, here's Roethlisberger. This one complete, right side to McDonald. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot.
The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes. Jordan Evans. He's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
And he punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. Here come the Bengals now to take over. They'll be led out by the Red Rifle. From TCU, it's Andy Dalton.
You enjoyed watching that game tape, didn't you?
Yeah,
last week's game.
It was good. 4 touchdowns, 1 pick.
Now, you were a little upset about the pick. I didn't know if you would play him this week or not if you were the head coach.
Hey, they got the win.
You got the win, so you're going to give him another chance?
Give him another shot.
All right, I think the ratio is pretty good. He'll try to eliminate the interception, but he wants to keep that hot streak going, throwing touchdown passes. Well, I'd say we're well past the time that we're trying to work out the kinks of the season, aren't we? We're already into week 3, and he's looking really, really strong. Already has won an AFC Player of the Week award.
Yeah, did that a week ago in week 2 with runs like that and then some. Eluding the pressure right. And he'll be forced out of bounds shy of the line of scrimmage, so that'll be credited as a sack. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
Hands up. BAT.
Check 55 to Mike. All right.
Dalton with a give here to Mixon.
Check.
Cameron Hayward in on the tackle.
Oh, yeah.
Here now the offense for the Bengals.
Out of the backfield is Joe Mixon, and he was a valuable commodity coming out of the University of Oklahoma because of his ability to be so versatile. Can run it inside with power, gets to the perimeter and can outrun people, catches the ball not only out of the backfield, but you can split him out just like he would be a receiver. And I think if he wanted to dedicate himself, he'd be an all-pro kick returner.
And he's got the first down as he's up to the 45-yard line. Third and medium, they opted to run instead of pass, and it worked. First down. And after his performance last week, everybody saw it. Unbelievable. You can expect a heavy dose of him again, I think.
Without a doubt. I mean, why wouldn't you? Because once you establish yourself that way, it's not just him, okay? It's his offensive line, it's the tight end, it's your wide receivers, everyone now sharing in the load and sharing in the belief that if they do their job, they'll see another performance just like they saw the week before.
So that throw good for 4. It's second down. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. Coming into this one, ranked number 19 in the NFL against the pass.
Yeah, defending the pass hasn't been an issue for them. It's been stopping the run. And if they don't stop the run, they can't get back to their strength, which is guarding against the air attack.
To throw again on second down. Dalton. That's complete to John Ross. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. John Ross, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard, inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
Now Roethlisberger to throw. And an alley to run. And they get the football. They'll set up shop at their own 49-yard line. That's now his 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. He's got the first down and more inside the 40. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Throwing, Dalton. He'll let this go for the end zone. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. To throw again. Dalton. Throwing the out route, incomplete. It's Ross. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. He was looking for John Ross that time, but it's going to be 2nd down. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. So Dalton now. To the left side here for Eifert. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Regular. 15. Kill.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Ready for the second quarter from Cincinnati. It's the Bengals with the football here. They're on the march, but facing a third down here.
Watch the screen.
They run the counter. Mixon. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Joe Mixon with touchdown number 8 on the year. Now the Bengals, they widen their lead. And they drew up the counter there. It worked. They're glad they drew up the counter.
And a lot of times what you're trying to do is just simply get the defense moving in one direction. It doesn't take much. Even one step's enough. Get them going in one direction and then cut back against the grain and let your running back finish it off and get the work done.
Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. He's going to air, and that's caught inside the 35. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. It'll go as a gain of 33, and that play started back at their own 33. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. On first down, it's Samuels. Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That was a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
Here's Connor. Well, still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down. They'll try and run forward with Connor. And he's going to be taken down here still a couple yards short of the first. Just a yard on the run there. That's going to bring us to a 4th down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. So 3 drives now for this offense, and that field goal gives them their first 3 points.
So if you're an offensive coordinator and you're averaging a point a drive, you're in the wrong line of work, aren't you? You got to find a way to unlock the key to these defenses and put some big points on the board.
Joe Mixon and the rest of his offense making their way back onto the field. A good job in the passing game. Decent job in the running game, but really they've been more effective through the air. We'll see if that shifts at all as this goes on.
Thus far, it feels like they're calling this game in reverse. Normally you run to set up the pass. Here it feels like they're passing, hoping to set up the run and be more effective later on in the game.
And you can do it both ways. We usually talk about it in the reverse, however.
No doubt about it.
And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
The throw over the middle, taken in. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30.
Face mask. Defense.
So they will accept the penalty and move forward.
Automatic first down.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. After the penalty, it's Mixon. And he's going to work this one down to about the 5. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. Now a first carry for Giovanni Bernard. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
Not your normal call in short yardage, but the toss works very well there. Big people out in front, being physical, and they pick up a first down.
Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. They'll give it to Mixon. And he is in. Touchdown, Bengals. Joe Mixon with his second touchdown here in this first half. Now the Bengals, they widen their lead. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. I can get some more. And he'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a first down. On 1st and 10 is counter. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. They go draw play. This is Samuels. And once again, not much running room, if any at all. 2 runs for a net gain of nothing. Now here's 3rd and 10. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. And he's got his man, the tight end, McDonald. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Now Roethlisberger. And yes, complete to the tight end, McDonald. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Here's Roethlisberger to throw. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on 1st down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a 2nd and manageable.
And they get to him with the pressure as Roethlisberger goes down. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts. As the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. And the Steelers on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Now it's Roethlisberger. Oh, he's going to go for it all. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
Kicker, defense.
So that one will be accepted.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
Automatic first down.
So a special teams mistake on the field goal try leads to a new set of downs inside the red zone. Now it's Roethlisberger. That is caught at the 7. The Steelers signal for the second of their timeouts. As it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit them, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. Geno Atkins able to record his 5th sack of the season. After the sack on first down, Roethlisberger, and caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. James Conner in the final seconds of the first half. And the Steelers are able to cut into that deficit. Extra point put through by Boswell. And it makes the score 21-10. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken at the 3. And an excellent return there as he's up to the 35, but make it the 40-yard line. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. The final act of the first half. Dalton, they'll set up the screen here to Mixon. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. And we will skip the highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. This will be fielded at the 6. And he breaks it all the way out to the 38-yard line. Great return. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Now Joe Mixon. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
52, 93, 44. Hands up.
On 2nd and 12, Dalton. He's going to rifle one. This is caught inside the 15. Over 30 yards there. And first downs on 3 consecutive plays now. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
And he's brought down. Add the gain here to the previous play, and it's better than 40 yards total. Well, lots of plays on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Dalton. Green's open, and he's got it for a Bengal touchdown. A.J. Green, his 2nd touchdown on the season. Now the Bengals, they widen their lead. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
Time for the Steelers offense now to get set for their first possession of half number 2. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Let's go. Let's get this ball back for the offense. Let's go.
And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Going top shelf for Smith-Schuster. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. Little pitch and catch caught by McDonald.
You got it! You got it!
Pass complete, but no gain.
No yards.
Yeah.
So you file that as unsuccessful.
Yeah, you do, don't you? Except on the stats, throwing the ball,
Get a completion.
you get a catch,
Yeah.
but still,
No
yardage.
yards.
Okay.
It's a 4-yard return following a punt of 49. And the Bengals will have a 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And that last touchdown drive, a good mix of pass and run. Defensively, they just looked a little out of whack.
And it's so hard to stay up with an offense that has things going so well, where you're guessing and guessing wrong play after play. So what you need is someone on the defensive side of the ball
leader, right?
to make a big play.
Yeah.
Throw that balance out of whack. That's what you're looking for now. Not worrying so much about guessing what the play call is. What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now, we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
And for one of the first times all night, he is going to go nowhere as they bury him behind the line.
I think Cameron Hayward's ability to take on blocks, hold the point of attack, and get upfield serves him very, very well. What a nice play there.
Yeah, he can take on blocks because he's built like a block. To throw here, Dalton. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Well, they went for the big play there, but that drop could really hurt their momentum.
Dixon, the punter, is on as he sends it away. Here's Switzer. And just shutting him off there. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him. All right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. It's a 1st down on a gain of 10.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get him. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the 1st down on that run. Don't just ask for him. Show him that you're supposed to get the football.
To throw here, Roethlisberger. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Geno Atkins in there for the sack, and it's an important one from a personal standpoint as that is sack number 100 in what has certainly been a terrific career to this point. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Outright, he gets this one to Switzer. And I think the ball's out, and the Bengals grab it. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And this is taken into the end zone. A fumble recovery and a Cincinnati touchdown. And that's a linebacker showing he can move pretty good with a football. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. Well, the two men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up 4th down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. They run on first down as they're able to get this forward for about 4. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Again, it's Mixon. And he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Now a loose football. The ball comes out, and it's picked up by the Steelers.
You and I have been around teams, and they all have goals for games, don't they? And every team we've ever talked to says one.
After reviewing the play, the running on the field is reversed.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And a fumble last time. Ball security. Talk about it all the time in the National Football League. They've got to be better at it on this drive.
Don't you think that when every team gets together for the first time, I don't care if it's OTAs, mini camps, first day of camp in the regular season, ball security comes up about, what, the second sentence of the coach's address?
And there's so many drills focus on that.
All the time, and they do drills to make it even tougher to simulate game situations. Doesn't always work out, though.
Looking for more there on first down, but this throw downfield, incomplete. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. It's Mixon on the counter. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. Joe Hayden there to bring him down. And the Steelers now in the nickel here on 3rd down. They'll keep it on the ground. Mixon. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Give him 17 at a Cincinnati first down.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on 3rd down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, 3rd down conversion. And that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. They're still throwing the football here. Now, obviously, the incompletion stops the clock. That's a bad thing.
Feels to me like they're just keeping them honest on defense because you know they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and try and stop any type of running play. Short little passes may work in exchange of running plays. Keep the clock moving, keep them moving.
I guess you're right. If they can get some first downs, just as good as running the football. Dalton operating in the red zone now. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Andy Dalton with his 3rd touchdown pass of the game. And the Bengals, they widen their lead. They had the lead in the 4th, but still passing. Finding the big target for the touchdown. Now that lead grows even more.
Everybody gets to join in the fun. You know, it doesn't have to just be the wide receivers catching touchdown passes. The tight end doesn't just have to do just the dirty work inside. He gets a chance to get into the end zone as well.
Fielded about a yard deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. I would say they went 3 and out last time, but actually they didn't even get to 3 and out. Still a strange decision to us here in the booth.
Yeah, let's hope they don't go 1 and out, but maybe, possibly, let's try and think with them here. Try and play field position maybe, turn the ball over, put it in the hands of their defense. Who knows?
You're a nice man. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and lead the game out that way.
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? So 5 yards there as one of the big guys up front moved.
And in a 4-3 front, you got the 2 defensive tackles right near the football. I know there's a lot of movement around there, but they're always taught to have one eye on the football. Apparently, that didn't happen.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
A big boot that time. 57 yards the official distance. And the offense will come back out deep in their own territory. The Bengal offense now gets set to head back out onto the field. We've got a lopsided game here. I don't know, Charles, what does the handbook say that we discuss when we've got a game like this in the 4th quarter?
Hold on a second. Let me thumb to the proper page on that. Know what it says?
What?
Let's discuss how we got here. This is a dominant performance, where they took control of this game, how they've managed to keep control of this game, and then we go ahead and think about how we're going to leave here and get to the airport. In a lopsided blowout, the roads are usually open.
Call it no gain there, and it brings forth a 3rd and long. He's having a big game running the football, but that one will hurt the yards per carry a little bit.
Yeah, but the average he's got so far, that's the type of average he wants to take winning the contract negotiations, doesn't he?
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
Now a late flag comes in as they got him down via the face mask, and that'll give him even better starting position. Got the hand caught up in the grill of the face mask, 15-yard penalty.
So tough for a defender. You're trying so hard to make a play, and the way that these offensive guys can move around, sometimes your hand gets into the wrong place.
Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. Call it a 3-yard gain, and it'll be 2nd down. That 1st down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Here's Roethlisberger. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Now Roethlisberger. Open man, Smith-Schuster. It's complete.
Here we go.
And he's going to get this inside the 30.
Let's go.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this 2nd half. Here's 1st and 10. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. And they've got it in the red zone now, down at about the 19. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Throwing on 2nd and 3. Roethlisberger. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. It's a pickup of 17 and a 1st down.
White 80.
52 is the mic. Watch this.
Now Roethlisberger to throw. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Andrew Billings. What a play by him. That's going to go as a loss of 13. Got his man. It's caught for a Steelers touchdown. Vance McDonald. His 1st touchdown of the new season. And the Steelers are able to close the gap just a bit.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team, but I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
Boswell good with the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. They have that feeling that has to be the best. You just go out and complete control of this game here for hopefully one final possession.
And it's a culmination of preparation that began with something along the lines from the head coach of, we're going to win this weekend, and here's how we're going to get it done. And covered all the details that went into it. They practiced them. They went over them. They tweaked the game plan as the week went on. And to find it all coming together and see it finish this way
makes them happy.
Oh, that's satisfying for them.
Yeah, they were very, very good. Now the last stages of this one. 11 yards there, first down.
I know we're in the era of wide-open football, a lot of spread formations, more space, but there's still a spot for power football, and we just saw some of it right there. How about that run?
Yeah, breaking the tackle, and, you know, late in this game, he wants it. Mixon hit, and the ball is out, and it's picked up by the Steelers.
Well, maybe it hasn't exactly been a Rembrandt, but they've been mistake-free to this point and finally cough it up. I don't think it's going to cost them the game. They should be. Fine, but boy, they're going to hate that going back and watching tape and being able to say we were that close to achieving our goal of 0 turnovers during the game.
A little blemish, but as you say, still comfortably in command. And they get to him with the pressure as Roethlisberger goes down. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they stop it with 22 ticks to go in the 4th. Another try after the first down sack. Roethlisberger. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in the game. On 3rd down, Roethlisberger. And he finds McDonald. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Throwing now, Roethlisberger on 1st down. That went into the hands of his tailback, Samuels. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and that'll make it a 2nd down. Charles, we saw a lot of points go up in this one. Certainly defensively, stuff that they can look at on film, don't you think?
No doubt about it, and they've got to go back and check where the errors are, how they're going to fix them, and continue to get better at what they do. But they also need a little adjustment with their confidence. To give up that many points, even if you win a game, that can hurt you.
So for the Bengals, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, they'll fall to 1-2. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.